So, hello and welcome everyone to a little, introduction video of my modification called Falagar, a journey. What you see here is of course, the character creation window. Everyone should be familiar with that. So, what exactly is Falagar? Falagar is a huge modification in which you can, spend what, 40, 50 hours, maybe more, depending on how good you are, how well you proceed in progress in the game. You have a huge open world map with tons of content, I'd say. So a vast open world, but also many dungeon maps that you can, step by step go through. But also the world may be open, is however limited in certain areas. So sometimes you have a shield or a force field or some kind of teleport device blocking the way through, so you're not going to be able to walk everywhere from the start. It is rather, I'd say, authentic to the original game. It's nothing too fancy. It does, however, include an ice world in the north, the Highlands, and a frozen lake and such, but also an indoor dungeon with ice and snow on the ground. So that's something maybe not everyone has seen before, because I made it myself. Yes. What is new in this, or what exactly is it? It is not too story-driven. So basically, it is, as the name implies, a journey. So you walk from through all these areas. You collect the elemental spheres from guardians or end bosses, and then you proceed and eventually make it to the Dragon Rider, the end boss of this modification, and then you win the game. Plain and simple. So this is a spontaneous video. I'm not really having any kind of script. I just hope everything that is important comes to mind. Otherwise, that wouldn't be so good. Anyway, yes. So that's what it's all about, and the length of it. What else can be said? There's a lot of custom items in there. Everything that used to be in the game, in the original one, has been either altered or changed. New things have been added. For instance, there's a lot of custom items. You have more of everything. You have more potions, you have more axes, more swords, more wands, etc., more spells. What's also new is the herbal system, or the healing system. So if you have any wounds, you will no longer be able to simply chuck a healing potion. Now you will have to be more picky in a way, because certain herbs now heal certain wounds. But there's also bandages. Those should heal basically everything, but have a rather small chance for that, but they're not too heavy, so you can carry a few of them around. There's also more conditions. Fevers, for instance, are in the game now. There's a tougher version of poison called acid, which does a lot more damage, but should only appear later on in the game. New custom enemies that, behave differently. They have a different, they give different negative conditions, but are not exactly looking differently. Sometimes you have a bluish glow or something, but you will notice the difference. For instance, if one of these crowerns starts throwing fireballs at you, you know that you're dealing with something else. Or if a spider is not poisoning you but slowing you down. I think one of the two was not in the game, so at this point I cannot really tell what was in the original and what is new. I just hope that people will recognize. Anyway, so again, this is what the mod is all about. There's tons of content, so if you really have, looking for something that you can spend a lot of time in, this might just be right down your alley. Okay, to get to the character creation a bit, I'm just briefly going to go over, let's say, the traits and then the custom races and traits. There are 5 races in total. Classes? I don't even know. Let's not count it. Anyway, let's perhaps start with the races, because those are the fewest, I think. I made a custom group already, so these are just original portraits that were in Legend of Grimrock 2, but also I added a few of them in the what is it called? Grimrock Assets Pack 2, I think, which gave you the chance to use all the Grimrock 1 portraits as well. But I'm sure there's tons of portraits out there, so nothing comes with the mod. Right, I just decided to pick a few fitting images, like this one for the troll and the Huldra, which is basically humanoid with a tail, usually female, so that should work for just some showcasing purposes. But let's start with the armadillo. The armadillo is basically, I mean, all these are in a way subspecies, so there's nothing too fancy or out of the ordinary here. In this case, you have a lizard man that just has better protection, thicker scales, which makes him, I think, very slow. Yes, the slowest race available. You have good resistance, as you can see, resist fire and cold plus 20%, resist shock and poison 10%, and your scales make dodging difficult. So evasion is naturally it starts at -15, which is a bit of a hindrance if you're trying to make this a sort of rogue. And you gain experience slower, which is different for each class, or each race, I should say. Strength +1, vitality +2, dexterity -2. So this is not exactly the most, cunning, or agile, I should say. Cunning also, choice. So armadillo, something that is well armored. Then the next one is the mantis. The mantis is an insectoid in a way, but has a weaker shell, and they regenerate energy slowly, but therefore have a larger pool with willpower +10. Yes, they're also resistant to the new environmental hazard called acid. Yes, and unlike, I think 50% was it for the original insectoids, they only have 20%, but that should still do. There's other things that you can pick that, or other traits that help with that. Also here you gain a experience, you gain experience points 10% faster, because you are sort of on the smarter side. Yes, that's the mantis, so basically an insectoid, but different. Here we have the Huldra, a humanoid race with a long tail. You know how to ration food efficiently, but your biggest strength is your swiftness, as the text implies, which means evasion is starting at +4, which is, I think, even more than the Redman. Strength is of course at -2, but dexterity +3. They also have a natural resistance to poison, and they don't need as much food as others. The troll, for instance, is a lot more hungry. And you get experience points 5% faster. What's very interesting is that they resist paralysis and some of the new fevers. Right, the troll is of course the bulky one, thick-skinned race. Yep, they regain health faster than others. Also here you have a -10 to evasion, and they have an even lower chance of getting body parts injured, 30% in this case. You gain experience slower with this not so smart race. Food consumption rate, however, is 20% higher, which is a bit of a problem, but you will also find new custom items that tell him or teach him how to, ration food, or, put him on a diet. You're also resistant to disease, but weak to fire. And the last race that I have not picked yet is the... Oh, the Cormorant, exactly. Cormorant, this one, let's pick a decent portrait for this one, just so it makes sense. Now let's go with this one. Yeah, that's a Redman. Why? Because as a Cormorant, a subspecies of the Ratling, your personal well-being is paramount to you. Yes, so these are egomaniacs in a way, and they love to hoard trinkets. There are more items in the game, trinkets that they can fill bags and sacks with. They have an evasion +4 by default, dexterity +2, so they're not as agile as the Huldra. However, I think the rest is equal, not equal, but similar to the Redman. Max load is +10 kilograms, and they also have an increased food consumption rate of 20, so similar to the, I think equal to the Troll, isn't it? 20%? Yeah, I don't know. No, 20% higher is food consumption rate. Okay, so they are also a very hungry race. Slowing effects, however, do not affect their kind. That means that the new negative effects also can be found in mushrooms, new custom items, that may have a chance to give you a bonus, so speed up your movement, but they can also slow it down. In this case, nothing would happen because they are resistant to it, and they resist cold because of their... No, they do not. You know, they have a -15 points to that, so cold is not their friend. And you should really take a look at your resistances and that, because these are thought of sort of thresholds, if you will. Once you reach the ice area or the the shock area, later on the fire area, you will notice some steps in difficulty perhaps, and you better watch your resistances. However, resistances have all been in a way altered. You don't get the 50 points, I think it was, in the original, if you reach level 5, which has always been something for mages in a way only. As you can see here, at level 2 you have certain special items. Yeah, so let's move on to the skills. I mean, you get energy regeneration 20% faster with water magic, and what I was talking about is level 4 grants a resist cold +10, and then at level 5 you get another 20, which makes 30 points for each of these. That is lower than the original, but also items that you can find in the game will no longer give you a massive boost, like the Frost Necklace, I think it was called. Something like that. Frostbite Necklace, I think. So now it's a bit more difficult to up your resistances. Right. Yeah, Fire Magic will give you health regeneration at level 2. Air Magic will give you evasion, and Earth Magic protection. Also, one should note that protection can actually be higher than in the original game, but also evasion is rather valid, because you can easily go with values of over 100, I think, at some points, at least end game. With the right equipment, maybe the right armor set, because there are more set items now in the game. That should be helpful. What else? Dodging has been, I think, decreased to only 3 points per skill. It used to be 5, I think. But it helps you with the cooldown, and you get an additional evasion of +10 at level 5. Armor, what is new in armor? Secondary. Yes, what is new is that you get a shield proficiency at level 4 for 1, but also there are, let's say, hidden traits, so that certain classes like mages, for instance, cannot use the what? Yeah, heavy armor, because they do not only get the evasion penalty, but this time they also get a protection bonus. So wearing something heavy might actually result in you getting less protection by wearing armor, because you are an easier target, you are slow, and so on and so forth. So better not try to just grab the biggest armor and think you can deal with that. What's new in critical? I think it has been removed to only 2% for each skill. Why? Because the item now that you're wielding is giving you certain bonuses to your stats, or to your crits in this case, or your accuracy. So it more depends on what item you use, and less so the skill in this case. The rest, I think, is as it always was. In accuracy, you now have the reach ability from the get-go. So the first accuracy level also has, gives you the ability to attack from the second row. I think it used to be in steps of 10, by which accuracy increased. In this case, it's only 8. And what else is there? Cooldowns, I think, have always been in, I think. If not, that's a new thing. And at second level, you get the ability to avoid wounds, so that the whole wound system is, let's say, not as brutal anymore as it used to be in the original game, and many monsters cause fewer wounds, or the chance is at least lower. Missile weapons, anything new? At level 2 you draw faster, level 4 you ignore armor, and level 5 you get a +5 chance to hit critically. Heavy weapons. Yeah, at level 2 you get the chance, I think, to... You get more protection if you use a two-handed weapon. That is what level 2 does. And of course level 5 gives you auger grip, so you can wield it in one hand. Light weapons, I think, is the same. Yeah, nothing really changed here. Concentration now gives you an energy regeneration rate increase at 25%. No, wait, that used to be in, I think... Yeah, third level gives you health regeneration, exactly. And if you make it to level 5, you get 15% faster experience gain, regardless of what race you pick. Athletics gives 25 HP every point, but also a 15 only. I think it used to be 25 or 20, I believe. Now it's 15 kilograms, because the Alchemist, for instance, is a pack mule by default, to can carry more and more as he levels up. Yeah, at level 4 you also have the chance to reduce the chance to get body parts injured. Alchemy, what is new? At level 2 you are fume resilient, which means you have a higher poison resistance. At the rest I think is standards. Yeah, stronger potions, and then the 3 bombs with 1 herb. Yeah, what else? So we have the the classes, of course. At this point I'm no longer sure what exactly used to be in the original game, but what I did here is I split certain certain classes, such as the Alchemist. I took away the firearms ability and made a pirate. So he's basically the pack mule who whose herbs multiply still. Not the custom ones. There are 3 custom herbs. They do not multiply. The rest, however, still does as before. But this time you learn faster as a alchemist, and you regain energy more quickly than others. And you can resist poison +2 every level, because he's dealing with these fumes. Let's go through them one by one. Archer is basically... I think that was not in the game. No, I'm not sure. Was it in there? Anyway, yes, you get increased proficiency, of course, with missile weapons. And what needs to be said is that all of these fighting classes now have their own, shall we say, favorite weapon. For the archer, that is, of course, these are missile weapons, meaning crossbows and bows. And you get a +1 chance per level to score a critical hit with one of those. But also you're more proficient with small swords and long daggers, granting additional accuracy as you wield them, but only if you have them in. You hold one of them in your hand. Otherwise, that bonus is not given. Barbarian, as known from the first game, is a bulky one with a lot of HP. Oh yeah, he can basically use 2 weapons as he levels up. Wielding 2 weapons is giving you more accuracy with them. And also, since blunt weapons are his weapon of choice, maces, hammers and the like, he does get more crits with those. Also, light armor pieces are basically what he is supposed to use, gives him more protection. The Battle Mage, what has changed? Slightly longer recovery phase after physical attacks. Yes, he's all the mage classes are a bit slower than the rest. Yeah, the standard protection plus 10 and resist all have been a bit reduced. However, you get the bonus is doubled for level 8 if you have an orb or a staff in both hands. Right, and the Brawler is a completely new class, which also relies on new weapons, the so-called fist weapons that are in the game. So as a Brawler, you are setting at the front line, close to the enemy. You are gaining strength and evasion every level if you're wielding these fist weapons. You also get an accuracy bonus when you're wielding a fist or any weapons, any melee weapon I think, any enchant, but also, of course, the fist weapons that he's proficient with. Also, yeah, you get an accuracy bonus per level if you have fist weapons equipped. And just like the fighter, I think. Fighter. Yes, you get special attacks are reduced in time and cost less energy. So that's basically the new Brawler type. Then there is the Dark Wizard, which is in a way the an equivalent of the mage or the wizard. However, it works completely different. For instance, you have longer recovery phases after attacks, and also just like the other mages, you or like the wizard, you are hindered by heavy armor. Your health regains extremely slowly though, but therefore your energy regeneration is rather fast, and you have a resist all plus 15 to begin with. You grant willpower plus 1 per level, and you have increased health and energy regeneration if you use one of the elemental or leech weapons. I mean, everyone still remembers the backbiter from the game. That would be a leech weapon, but also, yeah, what else is in? Yeah, elemental crossbow and elemental bow is in, which have their respective ammunition. They are limited, so you use, for instance, an ice arrow and it will disappear upon impact. However, they are rather powerful, but also useful because, yeah, they are powerful. You can use them. You can use, for instance, fire field on a certain spot on a certain tile, but you can also blind the enemy, and the blinding effect is a lot more noticeable than it used to be in the original. Also, black magic is a thing, so the dark magic has a lot more in there as well. There are also traps, magic traps, so the new spells. But also I think there's a scythe with air magic, I think, so that is something that he is pretty good at. Yes, then we have the farmer, which is basically the same as it used to be before. Yes, but you are more mobile, wearing lightweight clothes. Heavy armor hinders you, so he's supposed to wear clothes and not so much heavy armor. And yeah, clothes give an evasion bonus, so they are valid choices. And then we have the fighter from the original game. This one is very proficient when it comes to large swords. For instance, the Zweihänder? No, the two-handed sword, I think it was called. Yes, there's the Zweihänder in Dark Souls. But yeah, you get critical hits with large swords. You also have a dexterity plus 1 every 3rd level. And when you wield these swords, you gain strength plus 1 and I think evasion plus 2 each level. And you're supposed to fight in light armor, pretty much like the barbarian, I think it was. Other than that, the typical special attacks special attacks with melee weapons have time to build up and cost 25% less energy. Yes. That was the farmer fighter. Yes. The knight Yeah, still the number 1 in terms of armor. He gets evasion and protection +3 every 5th level. What's interesting is that he naturally gets the +10 bonus protection for wielding shields, so he doesn't have to go to level 4 armor. Yeah, the armor skill, he has that by default, but it doesn't stack, so don't expect to double that. I think this is protective enough. Yeah, the Legionary is basically a spear fighter, rather sturdy. He can, I think he can wield all types of armor, but he can also use shields and spears. Exactly. Equipped spears grant accuracy +1 per level and add a chance to score a critical hit. You also gain protection +10 when equipped with a shield. However, the Knight reduces the weight of armor. This is not what happens with the Legionary. He has to carry the full load, if you will. So if you want to put him in full plate, make sure that you are strong enough to be able to actually wield that, or wear that, more like it. Yeah, the Monk, an evasive reach weapon fighter, basically high energy regeneration, and fights with fighting staffs. There are more of these, and the ones that were in have been altered and improved. Some actually have custom spells. Yeah, there's one relatively early on that gives you the Wind Fist, a air magic spell. Exactly. Yeah, Pirate is basically the alchemist, but with more of a focus on the combat thingy, because you are more proficient with fencing or thrusting swords. You get evasion +2 and protection +1 every 2nd level. So evasion +2 every level and protection +1 every 2nd level. Firearms have 50% less chance to malfunction and grant a 1% chance per level to score a critical. That was the alchemist before. Now it's the pirates thing. So an agile fighter. Yeah, and since thrust is a new weapon type to pierce thick scales and the likes, he's quite a nice choice. The Rogue, as was in the original game, he's not supposed to wear heavy armor, of course. He's supposed to wear clothes instead. And as I said, you get more bonuses for, or evasion bonuses with many clothes. Shields, of course, also are divided in that. So we have light shields that give more evasion and heavy shields that give more protection but are heavier, and things in between. Medium shields, so to speak. Yeah, you wield daggers with high proficiency. You get dexterity +1 every 2nd level and evasion +2 per level. The warrior is, I think, the axe fighter, right? Yeah, axes are your favorite weapon. Strength +1, evasion +1, and vitality +1 every 2nd level. And you regain health more quickly. And of course the standards with special attacks take enough time to build up and costs 25% less energy, and so on. Wizards, as was in the game, however, the bonus that you get, you gain evasion +10 and increased energy regeneration when equipped with a staff or an orb. At level 5 you gain a bonus if you wear one in each hand, pretty much like the Battle Mage. Yeah, what else is to be said concerning especially mages? The light system has been altered as well, so you will not be able to run around with the what was it called? Radiant Orb or something, and just cast light over and over. Light now is in a way locally, so you drop spheres, glowing spheres. Yes, and there's more light sources like lanterns, for instance, that have a way longer burning time. Alright, so these were the skills. Now we know about all the custom races and the classes. So if you may have spotted something that is different than the original, yeah, personally, it's been too long. I spent a couple of 100 hours in this, so I do no longer know what in the original, or had been the case in the original. Right. Oh yeah, the traits. Last but not least, let's go for the trait and go through them all. I'd say, yeah, let's start with aggressive, full of rage, damage +4. That should be the standard. Agile, dexterity 2 should be the standard. aura, I think, as well. Potent aura, energy plus 25. Chitin armor is now protection plus 10. Cold blood now comes... yeah, all these resistances now come with a downside, if you will. So you have resist cold plus 20. However, that comes with weakness to fire of minus 15. The same here with the Demon Ancestor trait, resist fire plus 20. Cold weakness minus 15. Oh yeah, that's a new one. Maybe one of you has played The Dark Side of Xen and has heard of Ellinger or Ellinger's Tower. You might get an idea of what a strange interest in boots is. So that's for humans. Then you have the endothermic trait for trolls. They gain resist cold plus 30, which is quite interesting because, or it is very useful. Let's put it that way. Endurance, carrying capacity is increased by 25 kilograms. Food consumption, 25, I think that was in the original game as well, 25 and 25. Endure elements by the Lizardman now is resist all plus 10, which is lower than it used to be. However, there's no downside to it like all the other elemental resistance traits. Evasion is now plus 8. Enraged, I think that is the standard. Plus 10 strength if you reach, if you go under 20% of health. Yes, a fast learner is still 10% for humans only. Fast metabolism for the Lizardman should be the same as well, 30 and 30. Additionally, healing potions are twice as effective. Right, for the Armadillo we have fever resistance, which means that he or they don't actually get can catch fevers as easily. Fish Enthusiast is something for the Cormorant, for the Ratman, which means they have a slight chance of getting bonus stats with that, just like the Ratman would when leveling up. Forest Hunter, that is for the Huldra, just like Forest Hoarder. Forest Hoarder means they hoarding food gives them bonuses, evasion bonuses, and Forest Hunter gives them dexterity bonuses. Yeah, good shape is... you're in good shape overall, health 20 and energy plus 20. Grounded is resist shock 20, but poison weakness 10. Headhunter is still the same, strength plus 1 for Minotaurs. Healthy is vitality plus 2. Huldra Ranger, which is the third, I think, yeah, the third Huldra trait, exactly. Your travels have made you tougher, vitality plus 3 and strength plus 1, so with that you can basically get more sturdy. Yeah, because they have, I think, a negative of minus 3, they can nullify that with this trait. Yeah, the Mantis exoskeleton, the Mantis have a weaker shell, but in this case they can nullify that by giving them a resist all plus 10% and a protection of plus 5. Mantis Herbalism, your organs manage to digest certain food and energetic herbs more efficiently. Yes, there is a certain custom, what's it called, herb, yeah, that has an acidic effect, I think, and if you have Mantis Herbalism, you can counter that. And I think there's something else with that. Don't they get a huge energy boost or regeneration or something? I think, yeah. Also, you can basically eat all the herbs, and they do not only treat wounds, but they will also give you, for instance, regeneration when it comes to health and energy, so that is something to look out for as well. So basically a whole new system for herbs. You are trained, melee attacks, accuracy plus 9, I think it used to be 12. Yeah, but this has been lowered because all the classes have, if they use their own weapons, they might have their own bonuses when it comes to that. Yeah, where were we? Mobility, exactly. The Minotaur. You can actually make a more mobile or dexterous Minotaur with this. Dexterity plus 3. And actually hit something. Muscular strength plus 2. Standard mutation. Standard for the Rattling. Natural armor protection plus 5. I think that used to be plus 10 or plus 8. Has been reduced. Poison immunity. Lizardman is no longer a real immunity, but it is basically, yeah, a high resistance with 75%. And poison resistance is now resist poison 20, however, a shock weakness of 10. The cooldown period of all your actions, yeah, decreased by 15. That's for insectoids. Now the Mantis is can also be quick-witted, which means you have exceptional mental capacities, resulting in faster experience gain, but also an energy boost of plus 15. Right, and the Ratling, yes, you can actually make them smart as well. You can give the rats the Ratling Cunning trait, so they get a willpower plus 4 boost. Yeah, or bonus. Health regeneration, recovery for the Armadillo. That way they can, yeah, they regenerate health faster passively. Resistant is a new trait which can be picked by everyone. Health potions effects are lowered by 50%. However, you gain vitality plus 1 every second level, which is, you know, a nice trade-off. Skilled for the humans, still the same. Strong mind, still the same. Thick skin for the troll. With thick skin, you get protection plus 7. Tough is plus 30 health. Oh yeah, the Cormorant, as I said, because it's these egomaniac collectors, they collect all the trinkets in their sacks, as the picture also implies. You get a dexterity bonus, I think 0.5% for each trinket. And the last playthrough I had, you can easily fill 2 sacks with them, maybe even a third one. Yes. Versatile, you are an all-rounder, plus 1 to all stats. Also, yeah, every race can pick that. And we have Troll Regeneration. Your health regenerates 50% faster, while your food consumption rate is increased by 30%. And I think they have 30 to begin with, 20 or 30, so that means they have 50% total, but they regenerate health rather quickly. Yeah, so I believe this is basically it. I'm going to put timestamps in the video in the description, so if you're looking for something specific, you can simply click that timestamp. Other than that, yes, you can download these also in the description from either Steam Workshop or Nexus Mods. Yeah, I just recently put a version up there as well. It should work, it shouldn't be buggy or anything. You can play it from start to finish, all these 40-50-ish hours, I don't know. Not too secret heavy, no real story, as I said. It's basically just a journey, play the game, make a party, and have fun. Yeah, and with that I would like to thank you. I hope you enjoy the mod if you decide to use that. I can guarantee you it's going to be at least a decent amount of fun, or maybe a lot of fun, depends. So yeah, as I said, thank you again, and good luck trying out Felgar: A Journey, and that's basically it for now. Thank you and bye bye.